from his studios in New York, it's time for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Here's your host, Dan Tortora.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. We are in the second hour of Thursday, April 25th's live broadcast, and I'm hanging out here on the airwaves with somebody who also had been way too long since we've had a conversation here on the airwaves, and definitely want to do this more often. Darius Kelly, somebody who I always appreciated, respected, one of the guys that you can never forget when it comes to Syracuse football, at least from my opinion, because of the way that he treated me. Always a consummate professional, always smiling, good guy, always there for you, and, you know, just somebody that I really appreciate. So, you know, good people always have a place here on the show, and Darius Kelly is one of those people. Former Syracuse defensive back and a current coach out in the world of Arizona now. We were talking about Arizona. We might have to do that with Darius here in a second, but let's bring him onto the air. Mr. Kelly, how are we doing today?
Great, Dan. How you doing?
Doing well, man. So bring us into life. Last time you and I spoke, you're out at St. Anselm helping out the DBs under Joe Adam, and then now you're back out in Arizona, back home, doing your thing. Tell everybody what these last couple years have kind of brought forward for you since leaving Syracuse.
Yeah, it's been kind of a world tour when it comes to Syracuse. It's been some years, and obviously, right after Syracuse, and had an opportunity to do those couple of mini camps out in Buffalo and out in San Diego. Went back home to Arizona, helped out with the high school, and when we talked about at St. Anselm, Coach Joe Adam, gave me the opportunity to go out there to out in Manchester, New Hampshire. So flew right back out east. Had a great time there. Learned a lot under Coach Adam. Always been a great mentor since day one, and he gave me that opportunity and learned a lot under them. And I stepped away from football for about a couple of months after my 2.5 year spin at St. A's, and just to rethink and recalibrate life and get things going in the direction that I wanted to get going, and I'm glad I did it. And I was actually just talking to some of my kids yesterday. Just making decisions and having to sometimes take a step back and figure out what's best in life. And sometimes it takes a little bit of recalibrating and going through a little bit of stumbles here and there. But once you get on track, which I feel that I am now, back in Arizona, head coaching at a high school that's probably one of the better. It is one of the better high schools as far as academically in Arizona. I know in Tucson, Arizona, it is the best academic school, and athletically, it's historically one of the better schools in this area. So, and I'm doing that, and also working and working sales job and just coaching high school, and getting both the best worlds. Being able to coach and be around the game that I love, and be around kids who love the game and love being around me, and being able to mentor, and also being able to make good money in sales and doing those things and meeting new people every day. So it's been kind of a world tour, but I'm glad to be back in the Grand Canyon State down in Tucson, Arizona. So.
And speaking here with Darius, I got to ask you about your logo, that DK Gold. I feel like I'm DT, but I feel like I kind of want you to make one, and I want to wear a chain with it. Tell me about this little crest that you have.
Yeah, so coaches and my teammates, they always call me DK, and that's been my nickname, for a while, and just a little brand thing. That's all it is, Dan. You know how it is, just putting a little brand on yourself, and just that's my nickname, and I just saw that and I really liked it. It's just not too much behind it, but a nickname and a little bit of little bit of Brandon, Darius Kelly. Hopefully one day that'll be a name that means more than just Darius Kelly. And that's what I'm striving for every day. Those two letters I want to stick around for a long, long time. Be more than just a name, but more of a brand type deal. So yeah, man, nothing more than that.
Well, it's obviously something awesome, and you like you said, hopefully the name means more and broadens out. And it's, Walt Disney did it with Walt Disney World, and I decided when they said, what are you going to call your company? I said Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. Put your name on the door, believe in it, have it be something, and and not just something for me, but something for my kids someday, something for nieces and nephews, something for other people coming up in the business that, want a road that has morals and values and positivity. So, it is. I respect it. I appreciate it. I always felt like you and I were cut from the same cloth. So, DT, DK, I like it. We just got to we got to make me a gold crest. I thought I did some good things with logos, but I don't have a gold crest. So I have to get myself one of those. But I speaking here with Darius Kelly on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to ask you about Catalina. Now, first and foremost, when I hear Catalina, I think of the wine mixer from Step Brothers. And I also, when I hear Catalina, just sounds like something beautiful. I'm looking at this Falcons football page on Twitter and those amazing mountains that are behind it. What's it like being out in Catalina with this Falcons football team? Let everybody know about this team.
Oh, man. When you pull up to the school and pull up to that area, it's tucked away in the backside of Tucson. It's Catalina foothills, and the school is right on the foothills of the mountains. And you go up there, you see houses up on hills, and the view is just amazing. As you can see in some of those pictures, there's no better view and out of Tucson, Arizona. It sits up at the top side of everything. You see down onto the valley, and that part alone, even when I was growing up here, Catalina foothills has always been one of those places where it's a beautiful sight to see. And when you drive up there, it's tucked away, but if you're far enough away in the valleys of Tucson, you look up, you see this school and you see the area of Catalina. But this school, I took this place, this job, one, because the athletic director Ryan and the principal Jody Brazzi, and they were just great people that I got to meet. And but like I said, this place has always been a place that I've known growing up in this area. And academically, like I said before, it is the number one school in this area as far as testing, even over some of the private schools in this area, academically. And it's the number one public school in this area, but academically it's like a private school, and that kind of pushed me towards this area. And being able to get to these kids who, some of them, they come from totally different areas. Some coming from more fortunate, some come travel who don't have father figures, who don't have this, but this, this place is really, I haven't been here too long, but it's really starting to become special, and learning some of these kids, their stories, and, where they're from. And, it reminds me a lot of myself and some of them. And, it's a great place to be. There's not too many places in Tucson, Arizona that I would coach. There's not too many places that I would come back to and coach. And, this was, to me, a no-brainer when it came to wanting to be a part of Catalina Foothills High School.
That coming from Darius Kelly, and being able to coach this and to have this opportunity to mold young minds. Obviously you've been a player, you've been an assistant. To be a head coach, to be a leader, what does that mean to you?
It means a lot, it means a lot even to me, just because, some of the things that, I've struggled with coming up through life, and some of the things that I've gone through, and, had the break through barriers and, and make mistakes, learn from them. That part alone, it's, just come a long way, even, sometimes even taking steps back, and it just taking steps back and being able to keep going forward, and that's some of the things that, I look back at my life and I'm just like, wow, you've come a long way. Being able to, give back to me is important. I feel I'm doing these things for the right reason. And, just after the talk I had with kids yesterday, about life, just about life and their decision makings. And it's just that part alone. And, the feedback I got for them it made it all worth it. Just telling them my story and telling them, what it's going to take and just being real. That's all kids want these days. They want somebody who's going to be real with them, somebody who's going to understand what they're going through. Because it's tough. Like I said, it is tough to do the right thing in this day and age. It's tough. I don't care what anybody says. Making the right decision every day of your life is going to be tough. And, that's something I want these kids to know. It's not easy. I don't care what anybody says. Like, it's too much going on around you. There's too much negativity going on in this day and age. And to do the right thing every day, it's tough. And I expect everyone to attempt to do the right thing every day, but I know that it's not going to be easy, and you're going to make mistakes, and they just want to be understood, and to me, that's the greatest thing that I bring, to the table with these kids is just understanding, because I've made mistakes, I've done things and that I know I shouldn't have done, and I know that, there's light on the other side of the road of, being in trouble, and you can always, take a step back and be able to recalibrate in life, and there's always light at the end of the tunnel, and I really want, the kids and everybody around me to just know that, we got to understand these kids more. We have to love them, and and treat them like you would want to be treated coming up. As one thing I learned from Coach Adam is, berating kids and yelling at them and pointing the finger is, you're not going to get much out of them. You're not. You're going to turn them away. You're going to push them away. You're going to get more out of a kid just loving them, treating them with respect, because they're going to respect you and do everything that you ask them to do. And that's, what I've seen out of these kids so far. Everything that I've asked, everything that I've put in front of them, they have done. I had to have a talk yesterday because we had a couple of guys, they made mistakes. And I had to actually shut practice down and send them home. And I didn't run them. I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I simply had to talk, and the feedback I got from them was, Coach, I appreciate you, and I'm sorry, for all the things that I've done. And I love you, and I'm going to do everything I can to make this right. And that there alone is what you want out of a team. They understand that I understand them. So, yeah.
That's tremendous, man. And that, see, but that's the beauty of it, and that's the difference. And everything you just said, that's the real. That's what people need. They need that real life. They need that feel. They need somebody who can talk to them about what they've been through and what they've gone through, what they've seen, what they've felt, what they've heard. People, and I say it on the show all the time. And I tell people all the time, I was like, listen, and I had said it to somebody recently here. I was like, I can go into a room and I can say, did you ever want to disappear? Did you ever want to go to an island and be gone? Have you ever thought about ending your life? Have you ever thought that the things in front of you were too hard? Have you ever been bullied? And I can look them dead in the eye and go, me too. I have too. I've been there too. And yesterday, I did a show with one of our local high schools, Liverpool girls lacrosse team. And I walked in there, and one of the girls that was sitting there, she goes, didn't you come and speak to my class a few weeks ago? Weren't you the guy that came up there and spoke? And I was like, Yeah, she was talking about it was one of the classes that they had, and I was like, yeah, I was there. And this is like, 3, 4, 5 weeks later that she remembered that. And for me, it's like, okay, then hopefully that was something positive, that we imparted something good, that we gave something back, something memorable, something that made you smile or think or take a moment by yourself and just really get around. Because, as I said, Darius, you and I are cut from the same cloth. And to help somebody else have a better upbringing than maybe you did, or to help somebody else to have a better road to their career than maybe you did, or to help somebody get around bullying or get around, thoughts of taking their own life or not wanting to be here, or, going home and not having support at home. You never know what somebody else is going through. And that is why how you treat every single person that you come into contact with on the road, at the bank, in the grocery store, at a game, in your office, it is imperative that you treat other people with respect, that you listen, that you hear what they have to say, and that you do your best in response to that. We're not perfect. Like you said, it is so hard to do the right thing every time. It is so hard to be the good guy, especially in a world where it seems like people like the bad guy. But you have to me at least, have a strong enough faith to look up and say, God, what would you want me to do? What's your opinion of me? I don't care about what social media thinks of me. I don't care about what my ex-girlfriend thinks of me. I don't care what the guy down the street thinks of me. What do you think of me? And to be honest enough with yourself to ask that question, and to be honest enough with yourself to hear that answer, I think that's paramount, because it is hard to go through life these days. But I think if you have a faith, if you have a God, if you have a good support system, if you have people around you that love you and appreciate you, and if you can be honest with yourself and you can try your best every day and put your head on the pillow, then you're doing what you need to do, because not everybody's going to like you. And a constant reminder to me is the cross that I wear on my chest. And I tell people all the time, you can believe whatever you want to believe and listen to the show. I'm never going to tell you you can't be Jewish, Muslim, Protestant, Baptist, Catholic. Do whatever you want to do. But for me, the cross that I wear on my chest reminds me every single day that no matter how bad my day is, or how many people spit on me, or tried to do this to me or that to me, they didn't make me walk with a cross, put thorns on me, whip me, throw stones at me, spit on me, stab me, and nail me in the sun. They didn't do that. And that was to a perfect human. So, I think for me, it's, we all have strife. And when we go through it, we think it's only us. And that's where I think it's important to reach out to somebody and to go, I've been there. I've been there. I've been at the window wanting to jump out. I've been in that moment of this world is too hard. Because that's what these kids need to hear. They need to hear that other people, especially people who are successful and have pushed themselves, even people that aren't, that are in the middle of it, they need to know that it's okay to not be perfect. And they need to know that it's okay to hurt. Because the world is going to hit everybody, and you have to have that support and that love around you. And I know that was long-winded, but I just kind of coming off what you said inspired me. And, I feel like there's a lot of good that can be done in this world and is done in this world. We just have to spotlight it a little bit more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No question. No question. I was actually sitting down with my fiance last night, and we had this talk about those same things, and just the influence that we have on these kids. Just us being there, is enough. But we have to show them, that the real. We have to continue to show them the real, and just be a real person, and don't hide the pain or hide the things that you have gone through in life, because you never know who you can impact just by speaking and letting them know, like you said, that you're not alone. It's important. It's important. Yeah.
Oh, it definitely is. And shout out to you for having a woman in your life, a significant other in your life where you can have these conversations with, because that is not easy to find, Mr. Kelly, and I'm sure you know that.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
So can we give her a shout out? What's her name?
Deanna Johnson.
When is the wedding?
We haven't said it yet, Dan.
Okay.
It's real recent.
Oh, okay. So you popped the question, though.
I did. I did.
How did you do it? I got to know.
With the family, over family games, and I did it that way with the family and at home at the house. So we did it that way.
All right, fair enough. And the only other one I got to put you on the spot for on live radio is, am I invited to the wedding? Because that's important.
Always, Dan. No question.
Is it going to be in Arizona?
I'm pretty sure it will be, man. It's just a beautiful scenery. The weather, you can count on it. The weather, you can count on it most of the time. It only rains in a certain portion of the year around here, and when it rains, though, it rains.
Okay.
They call it the monsoon season, but other than that, you can count on the weather here.
All right, fair enough. It'll be my first trip to Arizona, I'll tell you that much. But I've been told to go out there a lot. But, for you, Mr. Kelly, I'll make a trip to Arizona. You know that.
Yeah, they call this God's country.
It's beautiful. I heard nothing but good things about Arizona, but I got to get myself out there. So, all right. Well, that's a good thing. I want to get to something about Arizona though too. We were talking about a little bit earlier here. It seems like the Arizona Cardinals have no connection to their head coach. It seems like the Arizona Cardinals have no connection to their quarterback. It seems like the Arizona Cardinals are willing to get rid of anything not named Larry Fitzgerald. Do they draft Kyler Murray with the first pick?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Kyler Murray, an amazing athlete. I think more athletes and bring Arizona football back. They had it rolling for a little while. I think Kyler Murray would definitely help them out, probably in every aspect. And I think of all the other quarterbacks that were athletic and run and throw. It'll bring more excitement, I think, around this area back to the Arizona football. Because I know from a lot of fans around here and people I know, the Cardinal fans, it was a tough year last year for them.
Yeah.
And I think bringing in someone like Kyler Murray would bring the excitement back to Arizona football. And I think that's right now. I think that's what's important. They got to bring the excitement. I think it'll bring even excitement to the locker room. Even though guys, even though they're pros and they've been around those guys a long time and seen, guys like Fitzgerald walk past them in the locker room. But this is a Heisman Trophy winner walking through your locker room. You're going to expect more out of him, and you're going to try to pick his brain. And I do think bringing in more people like Kyler Murray would not only help the team, but just bring more excitement back to Arizona football. So, yeah, I say go for it. I say go for it. Why not?
All right, man.
Back to this area.
All right. Interesting take there on Kyler Murray. I don't know if I'm sold on him being a franchise quarterback, but interesting take. I do want to do this really quick with Darius Kelly here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Rapid fire, where I get to ask you questions that have nothing to do with football. But here's the thing, Darius. I am the interviewer who likes to throw myself on the hot seat. I don't know a lot of people that do this, but typically when you ask questions, you don't like to be when you're the one asking, you don't like to be asked questions. But I like it to go both ways because it's got to be fair. So I'm going to ask you 3. You get to ask me 3. So it's hot seat time. And we're going to go back and forth here. I'll ask you first. I'm going to ask anything in the world here. All right. So Darius Kelly, what is the best date? I feel like you're a romantic. I feel like you treat a lady right. So what's the best date that you've ever done? I'm not going to get you in trouble. So what's the best date you've ever done with this lady? What would you say to me about your most romantic night out, so to speak?
I would call it night. It was during the day. Picnic. Okay. I made everything. Put in the basket and, kind of laid out all the foods that, she likes, and out in the park, just had a day in the park, picnic style, made everything, basket, flowers, juice, candy, chips, all, you name it. It was all there.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. I thought I was a romantic. I got to step my game up. So, all right, Darius. I thought I was doing it. That's the thing about life, man. I thought I was doing it right, and apparently I got to do it up a little bit bigger because I like to cook, but I'm not making no egg salad sandwich going out to some park somewhere. I need to get my game on. So, all right, what's your first question for me?
First question. Childhood cartoon, favorite one?
Oh, man. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original.
Ooh, okay.
The original. It's why I'm obsessed with pizza. So I would give it up. And that's why, and I'm Michelangelo through and through. My favorite colors are green or orange. I'm MC Mikey. That's just how it is. So I would say the Turtles. My second question for you, Mr. Kelly, is who is the most inspirational person in your life?
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'd say, right now, I have a long list, man. I can go on, and the first person that comes to mind is, my mother. She inspired me up until the day she passed. But I would say, my dad. My dad is definite inspiration. Just knowing his story, his upbringing, and being able to go through all the things that he's gone through as a child, and being the man and the leader that he is today is definitely an inspiration. It's unbelievable. I go back home, and it's always good if, like, I go to a barbershop and people are like, "Oh, that's your dad?"
Yeah.
Oh, that's Mr. Kelly, TK. I'm like, yeah, that's my dad. So he's definitely an inspiration to me, for sure. My dad.
That's awesome. Mom and dad.
Yeah.
Nothing better. All right, what do you got for me?
Let's see here. All right. Your first car that you drove in high school, what was it?
It was
Did you have one?
It was a white and black Honda CRV, and I named her Rhonda the Honda. So Rhonda the Honda. I had that car for 11 years, bro. That was like that car. We sold that car with 193,000 miles, and a family bought it. Like, that car's probably still driving today. It's insane. I love that car, man. I love Hondas, but that was my base. See, the one I got now is all black, and it's got like a chrome look in the front, and so it actually looks like the face of one of my favorite Marvel characters. So I've always had girl cars, but the car I got right now is the Black Panther. So
love it.
Yeah, dude,
love it.
I loved it. So that's gonna be my last question. If you could be any superhero, who would you be and why?
Any superhero, man. Okay. Let's see here. That's a tough one, man. Superhero. I would say probably Flash. I would have to say Flash.
All right, I like that because he's my favorite DC character.
Yeah, Flash, being able to just go, rip, run, kind of just be in one place and be in the next really fast. Yeah, I would have to go with Flash. As a kid, I would always wear like a Flash shirt, and I would have to say Flash.
All right, I like that. I feel that.
Yeah.
All right, what's your last one for me?
Last one. I guess I have to go back to you, man. I don't know if I can turn your question back on you. It's just,
yeah, you can.
What's inspired you, and who has inspired you to be who you are, and, in your profession and what you're doing. What's inspired you to get to where you want to do right now?
Well, I think it's funny. In my family, I got great people in my family. I'm gonna preface that, but I had some people in my family try to quiet me. I had some people in high school try to quiet me. I had some people in my professional life try to quiet me. And I said, I guess I had the ultimate revenge because I speak for a living. So, I would say, I was inspired to stand up because I was knocked down. I was inspired to stand up because my Lord and Savior was knocked down. So, I would say my biggest inspiration is God. I would say my mother, my grandmother, G-Mama, lived to be 100 in 9 days, giving her all of that because she fought for it. So, she inspires me to this day. My grandfathers both passed away when I was 6. 27 years later, they've inspired me still. I think about them every single day. I would say my grandmother inspired me because I talked to her about everything. I asked her advice all the way to 100 years old, and she just taught me so much. She taught me the value of time. She taught me the value of little things like playing a card game. She taught me the value of sitting and having lunch together. I didn't have a cell phone and all this technology and stuff growing up like the kids have now. It was about, sitting in the sun and just letting God hit your face with that. It was about swimming in the pool. It was about playing cards. It was about sleepovers and talking at night and saying your prayers and having a sandwich with grandma and watching her make it and helping her make it. So, she taught me everything that's important in my life. And, my prayer, my hope is that I will meet a woman that has a lick of who she is, has a speck of who she is. And, then my mom is a fighter. My mom has been knocked down a million times, and she's never stopped. She's always put me first. She has always fought for me. She's always fought for taking care of me. She was a mom who worked a full-time job, dropped me off at school, picked me up from school, helped me do my homework, came on all the school trips, was one of the, one of the parents that was always there for everything. She talked to me about girls. She talked to me about friends. She talked to me about school. When I had a bad dream, she sang to me at night. She read me my books growing up. She taught me the value of cleaning up after yourself. She taught me the value of cooking for yourself, of being self-sufficient. She, constantly would always, build up my flame and never snuff it out. And, she's not perfect. I'm not perfect, but she's always been there. And she just, the amount of love that she's given is like having like 5 moms. So I would say my mom, my grandmother, God have inspired me. And, dude, I feel young. I'm 33. I don't feel whatever, I feel like I'm just a young spirit. I love being here. I love being back in church. I love going to Bible study. I love meeting new people. I love telling people stories and bringing people together. I love the fact that, you try so hard to do something good in this world, and then you just see the benefits of that. You see that you and I met each other years and years ago, and I send you a text message like, hey, man, want to have you on the show? And you're like, yeah, when? Like, that type of stuff makes you feel not an ego. It makes you feel like you try so hard to do good in this world, and when good people make time for you, that's where you're like, I feel like I'm doing something. And, life's been hard the last 6 months. I'm not going to lie to anybody. Life's been hard. It's been confusing. I think the dating world is horrifying, so God bless you for having a fiance. I think I've learned so much. I've grown so much. And I always complain to God when he throws me in the fire. And then I let it burn me, and then my skin heals, and then I start screaming in that fire. I flex my muscles, and I go. So it's like the worst thing in the world, and then it's the best thing. And if anybody knows anything about me now, the worst thing you can do to me is throw me in a fire, try to drown me, any of that. Because I will use every element to my advantage, and what won't kill me will definitely make me stronger. So I'm just a different human, man, and I thank God for that. I thank my mom. I thank my grandma. I thank people like you. And, I think you inspire me. The stories inspire me. The good people in this world that God's put around me inspire me, and I could not be more thankful for what I have, and I look forward to the day where I can share that with somebody.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Love it.
So take that, world. But always positive, man. You got to be,
Yep.
So that coming from Darius Kelly, the man who has a crest that's prettier than Diddy's, is here with us this morning. And Darius, I appreciate you. I thank you as always, and I'm going to have you back on very soon. You are an inspiration, and you really are a godsend, and I just hope that you know that in your daily life.
I appreciate that, Dan. You as well. You as well. Always have a place with me, no question.
Well, you have yourself a good day. I mean, I'm going to look forward to that invitation to Arizona. So.
Yes, sir. No question.
All right, man. Be good. I'll talk with you soon.
All right. You too.
Take care.
All right.
That coming once again from Darius Kelly here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and on mixlr.com/wakeupcalldt. Honestly, man, I have been very blessed in my life, and I feel very appreciative, and I feel very thankful. I feel very thankful for what I've had around me. And I hope that you have good people around you too. And if you don't, get them. Bring them around you. The only thing you can take with you in this life is the relationships that you make and the memories that you have. This is the only thing that you can take. So make sure that you surround yourself with people that make you better every day and that love you in your weakness and love you in your strength and love you in between. All the people that want to be with you when everything is good, leave those people. Leave them where they are. Pray for them. Leave that where it is. Be with the people that hear your pain and will be there for you no matter what. Surround yourself with good. I don't have words. I just feel like people like Darius Kelly remind me why I do what I do.